In the beginning, Robin's life radiated joy, filled with boundless love from her family, embodying the essence of a typical happy childhood. The excitement bubbled within her as she looked forward to becoming a big sister, eagerly anticipating her mother's pregnancy. However, the chilling details of a home invasion shattered that peace. In an unimaginable moment of chaos, Robin showcased extraordinary resilience. She remained remarkably calm, effectively communicating with 911, deftly providing critical information that enabled the authorities to respond swiftly. Former Deputy Sheriff Chad Brooks rushed to protect Robin, emphasizing the urgency and confusion engulfing the situation. His decisive actions highlight a profound lesson: the critical importance of safeguarding our most vulnerable individuals during times of crisis. As the scene unfolded, it revealed a shocking level of violence. Multiple family members, including Robin's mother and brother, fell victim to a brutal attack. This dreadful reality underscores the stark brutality inflicted upon the Conrad family. Yet, amidst this chaos, Robin's survival stands as a miraculous testament to her spirit. Despite the turmoil surrounding her, she emerged physically unscathed. But the psychological impact on such a young child is profound, leaving a lasting mark on her innocent heart. Investigators faced immense challenges, grappling with the absence of crucial evidence such as DNA or fingerprints. Authorities found themselves puzzled by the lack of motive and an eerie connection to a previous double homicide in Missouri. The investigation unfolded rapidly in the aftermath of the murders, leading authorities to connect the crimes to Levi King. His sudden disappearance heightened the urgency, calling for swift action from law enforcement. As they delved deeper, psychological insights emerged, revealing that Levi's cooperative demeanor during interrogation could be a facade masking deeper disturbances. Experts shed light on how individuals with psychopathic traits can appear outwardly normal while lacking genuine emotional connections. Levi King's early life stands as a testament to violence and instability, casting a long shadow over his mental health and behavior. Growing up with an abusive father sowed the seeds of antisocial tendencies within him from a young age. The troubled upbringing Levi experienced was rife with severe abuse and neglect, ultimately leading him down a treacherous path of crime. His actions raise critical questions about how family dynamics can profoundly influence behavior. For survivors like Robin, the psychological toll is immense. She wrestles daily with the haunting aftermath of losing her loved ones. In her struggle to testify against the man who took her family away, deep emotional scars come to light. Her chilling recount of that night of terror reveals the raw fear and a powerful instinct for survival that surged within her during such a life-threatening ordeal. Robin's experience accentuates the critical need for robust support systems for crime victims. In court, Robin's emotional testimony is a powerful display of her inner strength and the transformative importance of forgiveness in overcoming personal trauma. She resolutely refuses to allow anger to dictate the trajectory of her life. The impact of supportive relationships in Robin's life is undeniably evident. By maintaining connections with friends and law enforcement, she illustrates the vital role community plays in the journey of healing. Finally, Robin honors her family's memory through her actions and aspirations. With a dream to become a nurse and care for others, she embodies a profound commitment to helping those in need, ensuring that her family's legacy continues to inspire.
I have a question. Do I really have to talk about what happened this morning again?
The girl you see here is 10-year-old Robin Doan. 5 hours before this footage was recorded, Robin was sleeping in her bed at home, where she lived with her loving family, her mother, Michelle Conrad, her stepfather, Brian, and her older brother, Zach. Everyone in town loved the Conrads. They are what some would call the picture-perfect family. But Robin's life is about to take a disturbing turn for the worse on September 30th, 2005. That night, at 3:50 a.m., Robin wakes up to the nightmare that will end in the worst case of home invasion the state of Texas has ever seen.
911, what is your emergency?
Ma'am, there was a shootout in my house. I don't know.
Is there anybody else in the house with you?
I don't know, but I'm scared.
10-year-old Robin Doan, she thought it was just a nightmare until she woke up. She heard screams, gunshots, and the footsteps of a man who came for her. But she survived, outsmarting her killer. And even after everything she went through, Robin faced her devil in court. She wanted to make sure he would pay for what he took from her.
I've endured this, but you're not taking my life away from me.
In the quiet town of Pampa, Texas, Robin Doan lives a happy life with her mother, Michelle, her stepfather, Brian, and her older brother, Zach. It's September 29th, 2005. As Robin is getting ready for school, her stepfather has a surprise waiting for her in the kitchen.
Brian made me breakfast that morning, and it was actually pancakes. Those are my favorite.
Her day is off to a wonderful start. She couldn't be happier, especially knowing that her mother is 5 months pregnant.
I was gonna be the greatest big sister ever. When we got home, my mom started trying on maternity clothes. And there was these god-awful maternity stretchy pants. They were terrible. And that was all I remember.
It's September 30th, the following morning. At around 7 a.m., the sheriff's office receives this disturbing phone call.
Sheriff's Office, 911.
Ma'am, there was a shootout in my house. I don't know. She's alive in my house, and I'm scared.
Where are you at?
7142 Highway 70. It's about 13.3 miles out from the bowling alley. You'll pass the house, the next one over. I have a purple shirt on. I have purple pants on. Please, can you just send somebody out here?
Yes, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
Right away, the 911 operator dispatches the patrol unit, while terrified 10-year-old Robin stays on the line. Officers hurry to the scene, unaware of what they're about to face.
Is there anybody else in the house with you?
No, I think I'm the only one alive. I don't know, but I'm scared. I want my mom.
The operator tries to extract as much information from Robin as she can, while trying to keep her calm and safe.
What's your name?
Robin Doan, my parents, Conrad and Brian Conrad.
You don't see any other vehicles or strange people around your home or anything?
No, ma'am.
You didn't see a car drive off of any kind?
No, ma'am. I can't believe it.
Okay.
And all I want right now is my blanket and my pillow. I'm scared.
I know you are.
I'm scared.
I know. Stay right there.
I just couldn't get there fast enough. I could not get there fast enough. What in the world could have taken place, and why is she the only one on the phone?
I hear more sirens.
Yes, they're coming. I've got the ambulance in the car coming for you. Okay?
I want my mom.
I know you do. I know. Here?
Yeah, I see another police car.
I'll never forget when I turned down the driveway.
I see him.
This child, she ran straight to me. I hugged her. As distraught as she was, she's very articulate, just telling me in absolute detail what was going on and what she heard and everything.
Because former Deputy Sheriff Chad Brooks has no idea what happened in the house, his first thought is to protect Robin, but he's out in the middle of nowhere. For now, he puts her in the patrol car and locks it, before he joins the other officers inside the house.
The east door to the residence had been kicked in. Everything was in place. The coffee was set to come on the next morning.
The whole house is eerily untouched, nothing stolen, nothing out of place. When they arrive at the master bedroom, they find Brian Conrad, Robin's stepfather, shot 3 times. Her pregnant mother, Michelle, was shot 6 times. In the children's bedroom, her teenage brother Zach, shot 3 times. Even Molly, the dog, was shot twice. Officers confirm that Robin is the only living survivor of her family, but there's no sign of the people who did this.
Chief Deputy looked at me and we looked at each other and he said, "Go be with that little girl." I said, "Is there anything I can do for you, Robin?" And she said, "I want to feed my animals."
In her bedroom, they find 2 shell casings, yet inexplicably, Robin is unharmed.
How that bullet missed Robin, I do not know. It struck a little drawer next to her bed.
She might have escaped death, but she's not safe yet. Officer Brooks takes little Robin to a children's advocacy center so they can ask her more questions. There, she's put in a room with microphones and cameras, while a woman asks her questions about that night, but Robin is obviously upset.
Do you know why you're here today? To talk about what happened this morning. I really don't want to go to sleep anymore. Okay. It makes me to where I'm too scared. I really don't want to go to sleep. Okay, so, okay.
They asked me, "What do you remember? Can you describe what he looked like?"
I don't know this for sure, but I thought I saw a white eyes, white face. Okay.
The chief deputy sheriff requests that they ask Robin if she heard shots, and if so, approximately how many shots did she hear?
She never hesitated in her answer of 15 shots. Through the course of the crime scene investigation, 15 fired rounds were found inside the home.
And when he shot, I saw a flash. And so I never seen like I was there 2 whole hours. I can't talk about it. It's too heartbreaking.
Everyone loved the Conrads. They were what we would call salt of the earth kind of people. They were real people that we loved and cared about, and they cared about others.
Would do this to this family. We had no clue who this was.
We had no idea who had done this, why it had happened, or where those people might possibly be.
Apart from the shell casings, they also found shoe prints and tire tracks, but what they don't have is DNA or fingerprints. This wasn't a burglary, and in a senseless crime like this, there's no telling what the motive could have been. While authorities investigate the crime in Pampa, they have no idea that their answer to their mystery lies in a crime committed in another state, 14 hours earlier. It's September 30th, Pineville, Missouri, 10 a.m. The sheriff's office gets a call about a double homicide.
It came in that there were 2 people, and they had both been shot. They had just come home from shopping. They still had bags of food in their hand.
Once I stepped in, I found a bullet casing and saw a shell lying on the floor and saw Miss McCool downstairs.
The victims are 70-year-old Orly McCool and his 47-year-old daughter-in-law, Dawn. Police find that Orly was shot once, and Dawn was shot several times. Nothing in the house was stolen. This was an execution. But the victims have not been dead for long. They find a receipt in the grocery bags that indicates the crime happened around 2 p.m. on September 29th, 14 hours before the Conrad family murder in Texas. While the police investigate the crime scene, they also find out that Orly McCool's truck is missing. Right away, the red Dodge pickup is entered in the nationwide computer system as stolen. But that's not all.
We were looking at the ammo, the shell casings, and one of the other deputies there that does a lot of the crime scenes and said, I just took a burglar report. Well, Mr. King had reported that his son Levi had come into the house while he was gone and broke into his gun safe and stole several guns.
Pineville police have connected the double homicide to Levi King, but Levi King is long gone, as he has a 24-hour head start.
Bulletin went out immediately. The uncertainty of having somebody driving around with that kind of a mindset, it's horrifying.
At this point in time, the murders in Missouri have a suspect, while the Texas police in Pampa still have no leads. Then, the most shocking news reaches the Missouri crime scene investigation team. Levi King has been spotted and put under arrest for questioning.
Levi King was found in the truck by the Border Patrol in El Paso. He admitted having guns in the back. Well, that drew their attention.
During his interrogation, Levi King admits to the 2 murders in Pineville.
How many times did you fire? He's fine. You walk out to the door and you see this woman. Why, explain to me why you shot at her.
I was scared. I didn't know what was gonna happen to me. You know, I was panicking.
While Levi is cooperative, appearances can be deceiving. Forensic psychologist Dr. Louis Schlesinger explains how a psychopath may act.
On the surface, he looks fairly normal. In fact, it has often been said that psychopaths mask their underlying disturbance. He doesn't look bizarre, he's not dirty, he relates well, he's responsive. But the fundamental problem and deficit with a psychopath is a lack of attachment to other people.
While the Missouri authorities lock the case of the McCool murders with Levi's confession, in Texas, the case of the Conrad family massacre grows cold. For weeks, they don't have any new leads, and little Robin is afraid that her family's killer might come back for her.
At this point, we felt like we probably were not going to be able to solve this case.
But then, they get a break. King asks to speak to one of the deputies he befriended at the Missouri jail.
I had been told by a couple of the detention officers there in the jail that Levi had asked to see me and speak with me.
They take King out of his cell and into the outdoor exercise yard so he can be more at ease. Then, he comes forward with the key to unlock the mystery of the Conrad family murders.
Levi King says, you know, there's 4 more in Texas. Nobody was hunting him, nobody was questioning him, so I don't know why he made that statement.
On September 29th, Levi enters the McCool house and executes Orly and Don McCool. He then drives their pickup truck for 14 hours across Oklahoma and into Texas before breaking into the Conrad family house to kill again, all because, according to Levi, he was angry at his father.
This was a spree killing as opposed to a serial murder, as opposed to a mass murder, where he kills and then in a very short period of time, he then killed again.
Levi King, born in 1982 in the quiet town of Pineville, Missouri, his father, Scott King, raises his 7 kids in the most dodgy house just outside of town.
There was no sewage, there was no electricity, there was no running water. Lots and lots of spent ammunition.
Levi and his siblings live in constant fear of their violent and unpredictable father, and Levi quickly starts to show signs of antisocial behaviors. At 4 years old, he sets his sister's curtains on fire after an argument. His abusive father forces him early on to shoot guns at his pet animals.
From the stories that we got, it wasn't at all unusual to hear automatic weapons fire coming from the King house on the hill. Police were scared to go there.
He begins drinking alcohol at age 11, drug use at 13, all initiated by his father. When looking at Levi's childhood, one can assume his crimes are the result of his abusive father or circumstances.
But you have to keep in mind, his brothers and sisters did not wind up doing what he did, and they were raised in the same family.
If there was ever a case where a man deserved to die, it was Levi King.
I was 14, about to turn 15, when trial was taking place. I was going to be sitting in front of a murderer who had killed my loved ones. And to testify, I didn't want to, but I knew that I needed to for my family's sake. I was the only one that got to walk out of that house. They didn't, and they needed a voice too.
When Robin Doan takes the stand, she's faced with the murderer of her entire family, standing only a few feet from her.
I tried to avoid looking at Levi King as long as I possibly could, and finally I couldn't resist the urge anymore because I wanted to see who had actually done this. And so I looked at him, and the stare that I got back was the worst feeling of my entire life.
Now, she has to relive her horrific night, in order for the jury to know exactly what happened.
That night, I was having a nightmare, and I remember hearing the gunshots in my dream, but when I woke up, it didn't end. The gunshots were actually going off in my house. My mother started screaming and screaming and screaming.
At that moment, Robin gets out of bed and crouches by the side of her door. Moments after, the screaming stops. Instead of gunshots, she hears heavy footsteps approaching her bedroom door. Out of instinct, she dives back into her bed and pretends to be sleeping.
He fired 2 rounds off at me. I had one of them graze my left leg and my left arm. He turned and he opened up my brother's door. And he flipped the light on, and that's when he shot my brother. And I knew that my brother's really gone. I knew that there was no chance that he'd be alive.
Robin is desperate, terrified of what might happen if Levi King finds out she's still alive. For 2 whole hours, Robin plays dead, staying completely still on top of her bed, exhausted. All the while, she can still hear the killer inside the house, making loud noises, rummaging through cabinets, tossing things around. And all she can think about is who's still alive. In the early hours of the morning, she's woken up by sunlight through her window. Her house now completely quiet, she gets up and walks out into the hall. Not having the heart to look into any of the rooms, she grabs the phone and goes outside.
I just remember, adrenaline rushing through my body.
Sheriff's Office, 911.
Ma'am, there was a shootout in my house. I don't know who's alive in my house. Please, can you just put somebody out here?
Somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
It felt like an eternity before they got there. I just remember running to the first person that got out of that car, and I hugged him. He told me everything was gonna be okay. They were gonna figure it out. Kept playing games with myself in my head. When is my mom gonna walk out of there? When is Brian gonna walk out of there? Where's Molly? I wanted all of my family to walk out of there just like I did. I would never ask the question, who's still alive? I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it.
Robin is out in the field with Sheriff Deputy Chad Brooks, distracting herself by feeding her animals. But soon enough, she finds out she can't escape her horrible reality. That's when she dares to ask the question,
Mom and Brian aren't gonna walk out of there, are they? Broke the law enforcement people's hearts when they had to tell me no, that they weren't walking out of there.
In the courtroom, Robin breaks down in tears at the memory of that night, still vivid in her mind, but she hasn't said her final word just yet.
The hard part about Robin testifying was to see the pain that precious little girl had to go through and endure. And then to see her say, I've endured this, but you're not taking my life away from me. I am not giving you that kind of control.
I said, I forgive you, Levi King, I forgive you. I told him that to his face in court. That was me taking 1,000 steps forward and never taking any back. I don't want to live with being bitter and being angry all the time for what had happened. Me forgiving Levi King, it was my sense of peace, and it was my sense of, this is how I was raised, and this is my family coming out.
After 7 hours of deliberation, the jury came back with a sentence of life in prison without parole. Because of Robin's testimony, Levi King will never hurt another living soul. To the relief of Robin, Levi King is extradited to Missouri.
Texas is my state. I don't want you back in my state. You've already done your damage here. Pampa is home. It's where my mom and Brian and my dad all raised me. It's not saying that I want to stay there forever, because I don't. The dates that are really hard are birthdays. Zach's birthday, Mom's birthday, Brian's birthday. I don't expect you to pity me, and I don't want you to, because that's not how I am. I want to be just like everybody else.
While Robin will never forget her loving family, Robin now enjoys the support and care of her newfound friends.
We did keep in contact, and later on, when she turned 16, Robin invited me to her birthday party.
I have had a really good relationship with Chad. When I hug him, every time I see him, it's that same hug I got the day that he came and he was the first one to me. It's like a safe place.
Even if her wounds may never fully heal, Robin Doan refuses to be defined by this tragedy.
My necklace it's a 12, and it stands for my older brother Zach. It was his baseball number. And I've had it since I was 10, and I don't take it off. It will stay on me forever. I played basketball, I played volleyball, I played softball, ran track, I was a cheerleader. I'm able to tell people there's nothing that you can't get through. I'm pursuing my dream in college, and that's nursing. I want to be able to help babies. I love to help. I love to make sure people are taken care of. I don't let what happened keep me down. No. Sorry. That's not me. That'll never be me.